Slowly, Yin opened her eyes, seeing the clock on the wall already showing 7 in the morning. She turned to her side, seeing her husband still sound asleep. Yin got up slowly and tittied the blanket on her husband's body, pulling it up to his neck to keep him warm. Then she got out of bed slowly and headed to the bathroom to freshen up, and after that, she went straight to the kitchen. As Yin reached the kitchen, several maids were already busy there, some preparing food, some tidying up the house. Everyone seemed busy, and as they all noticed her, they all bowed and greeted her good morning. Yin sat at the pantry table chatting with a few maids for a few minutes until she noticed the clock showing 8 o'clock. It was time for her to check if her husband had woken up yet or not, so she headed back to their bedroom. Turns out her husband was still asleep. He should have been up by 8 o'clock. She gently shook his body to wake him up. "Jungkook, aren't you going to work? It's already 8 o'clock. There was still no response and no sign that Jungkook was going to wake up. So Yin sat down on the edge of the bed right next to him, and then she started tapping his cheek gently. "Jungkook, aren't you working today?" Slowly, his eyes opened, and Jungkook saw his wife sitting beside him. He immediately wanted to get up and leaned against the headboard. "Are you going to work today?" "Yes." After that, Jungkook got up immediately and headed to the bathroom without paying much attention to her. It had been a week since their wedding, and Yin tried to get closer to him and be a caring wife, but it seemed like Jungkook's attitude toward her hadn't changed. Until now, Yin was still understanding, perhaps because they got married not out of love but because of an arranged marriage. But, deep down, she still hoped that someday her husband would change to be warmer towards her. 15 minutes later, Jungkook came out of the bathroom wearing his bathrobe, and Yin had prepared his work clothes on the bed along with his underwear. Without any hesitation, Jungkook took off his bathrobe, leaving nothing on his body. Yin was startled, and she immediately left the bedroom without saying a word. Jungkook, seeing this, only smirked slightly. Until today, they hadn't engaged in physical activities as husband and wife as they should have. So Jungkook understood if his wife was still shy. It wasn't because Jungkook didn't want to touch his wife. Unfortunately, on their wedding day a week ago, her menstrual period came, and it took a week to stop. Suddenly, Jungkook furrowed his brows. Shouldn't it be time by now? It's been a week. Her period should have stopped. It seemed like tonight Jungkook would have to ask his wife directly about it. Jungkook emerged and headed straight to the dining room, where he saw Yin waiting for him, and breakfast was already set on the table. With a bright smile on her face, Yin seemed ready to greet him. "Good morning, hubby. Let's have breakfast together." "Yeah." Once again, his cold tone somewhat stung her heart, but Yin managed to ignore it. "What time will you be back today?" "Probably around 8 o'clock in the evening. Is there something you need?" "Oh no, I don't need anything, just asking." Jungkook didn't respond further, and they ate breakfast in silence. Only the sounds of utensils and plates clinking filled the room. Actually, Yin really disliked this kind of atmosphere. She was used to a warm family environment, with parents who cared for and loved her. Honestly, she didn't even expect her parents to hand her over to someone as cold as Jungkook. But because she believed in her parents' choice, she could only hope that their household would become warmer in the future. "Stay calm, Yin. It's only been a week, he'll surely change." It turns out what Jungkook said earlier in the morning was true. By 8 o'clock in the evening, he was already home. They had just finished dinner and were now in their bedroom, getting ready to rest as planned. Yin had changed into her nightgown as usual, while Jungkook was in his pajamas. The clock showed it was almost 10 o'clock p.m., and they were both lying on the bed. But, Yin. "Yes, hubby. What is it?" "It's been a week. Shouldn't your period have stopped by now?" Suddenly, her smile disappeared. She didn't expect him to ask this so straightforwardly. Seeing Jungkook's seemingly indifferent attitude towards her, Yin thought he might not be interested in romantic matters like this. But apparently, yes. After all, Jungkook was a healthy adult man. Naturally, he would be interested in such matters, especially now that he was married. "Yes, my period has ended." "In that case, we should start, right?" Yin slowly opened her eyes, waking up this morning in an unusual state. The lower part of her body felt a bit sore. She glanced to the side and found her husband still sound asleep. Finally, she rose slowly from the bed and headed straight to the bathroom. She stood in front of the mirror, looking at her reflection. All over her neck and chest, there were numerous red marks. Jungkook had left his mark all over her. She sighed softly. Honestly, there was not a hint of regret in her heart for serving her husband, whether it was out of love or desire. What mattered was that now she was his wife, and Jungkook could do that to her. But still, in her heart, she hoped that after this, Jungkook could be warmer to her. Yin finished cleaning herself up and stepped out of the bathroom wearing her bathrobe. She noticed Jungkook was already awake, sitting on the bed and wearing his pajama pants. Their eyes met, and they exchanged a silent gaze for a moment. Jungkook eventually got up and walked towards her, who stood before him. His eyes seemed to be assessing her condition. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine." "Are you in pain?" It's a little sore, but it's okay." "Alright then." Jungkook then headed straight to the bathroom, intending to freshen up before they had breakfast together. Their marriage was now a month old, and initially, Yin hoped that after they had intimate relations like husband and wife, Jungkook would become warmer towards her, showing more affection and care. But nothing changed. It didn't mean Jungkook was rude or cruel to her, but for Yin, their relationship felt extremely cold. She never imagined having a marriage with such a frosty quality. Yin, who had grown up in a family environment where her parents were warm, caring, and showered her with abundant affection, felt quite distressed facing Jungkook's seemingly cold demeanor. The only thing that kept Yin holding on until now was that Jungkook never physically harmed her, nor did he verbally abuse her or mistreat her behaviorally. She still longed for a husband who was friendly, caring, and showed sweetness towards her, but it seemed like just a dream. Unconsciously, Yin had buried those hopes, and without realizing it, she had stopped hoping for anything from him. And worst of all, without her realizing it, her own personality had also turned colder than before. Now they are having breakfast together, with no one speaking between them. Usually, Yin always takes the initiative to engage him in light conversation, but this time Yin has lost interest. Eventually, she adapts to his cold attitude. This is what happens. They eat without uttering a single word. Only the sound of utensils clinking against plates, otherwise just silence. The same happens at night. There is no conversation whatsoever. Everything feels cold. The only warmth comes when they are intimate with each other. Other than that, there is no warmth left. Today is Sunday, and there will be a wedding party for one of Yin's cousins, so she wants to make sure her husband remembers so they can attend the event. "I just want to remind you again, today we will attend my cousin's wedding party." "Yes, I remember." They continue their breakfast in silence. Now both of them are dressed for the party. Jungkook waits for Yin in the chair, as she's not ready with her makeup yet. Quietly, Jungkook observes Yin, who is now putting on makeup in front of him, silently admiring his wife's beauty. If he could be honest, perhaps Yin is the most beautiful woman he has ever met so far. Until unknowingly, Yin is ready to go. "Let's go, I'm ready." Jungkook just nods, and they get ready to leave. Now they were both sitting, Yin among her other cousins, with Jungkook sitting beside her. "Yin, why are you so quiet? This isn't like you at all. You're usually cheerful. Are you feeling unwell?" Jungkook, hearing Elena's words, furrowed his brows slightly and immediately looked at his wife, checking. In his opinion, she seemed fine. "That's right, Yin. Are you feeling sick? You look tired. If you are, please rest. You can go home early." "Don't worry, both of you. I'm perfectly fine." Shortly after, Yin's mother approached her daughter. She had been chatting with her other aunts since earlier. "Yin, are you okay, sweetheart? Please don't be like this. I'm worried about you. Are you running a fever?" Yin's mother immediately touched her daughter's forehead and neck to check her body temperature. "Your temperature is normal. You're not running a fever. Are you tired?" "No, Mom. I'm not tired. Why would I be? I came here directly from home. I didn't stop anywhere." "Then why are you like this? You seem unwell." "I'm fine, Mom." Now, besides Yin, her cousins were also worried about the changes they noticed in her. They were concerned that she might be sick. Quietly, Jungkook also observed her. According to him, Yin seemed fine, but why were they also worried? In Jungkook's opinion, her current behavior was typical of how she usually was at home. Now, curiosity began to creep in for him. What was Yin's attitude like all this time? Upon reflection, their relationship and his wife's attitude couldn't be considered close. They rarely interacted or conversed lately. Now, sense of discomfort began to creep into his heart. He started to worry about Yin's current state. What was wrong with her, really? Jungkook began to realize that he hadn't really gotten to know his wife enough all this time. And yes, that was quite ironic. 3 hours later, the party was now almost over, and Jungkook and Yin decided to head home. Additionally, their other cousins also planned to leave. Before that, Yin wanted to bid farewell to her parents. Jungkook accompanied her. "Mom, I'm going home now. Take care of yourself. I want you to always stay healthy, even as you get older." "Oh, my sweetheart, I also hope to always stay healthy. Please take care of your health too. Don't skip breakfast. Don't overdiet. Get enough sleep. Don't overwork, okay?" Yin hugged her mother tightly, with Jungkook standing behind, waiting for her while continuing to watch them. Her mother reciprocated the hug just as tightly as if they wanted to be together always and didn't want to be separated. Next, Yin said goodbye to her father. Her father did the same, hugging her tightly. This time, Yin even cried, which made her father a bit confused. Yin, what's wrong? Why are you suddenly like this? Yin didn't answer. She just shook her head weakly in her father's embrace. This also caught Jungkook's attention. He was confused about why Yin was behaving like this, but it was clear that he was uncomfortable seeing her wife in her current state. This time, Yin hugged her father for quite some time because she really didn't want to leave her father's embrace. Meanwhile, her father gently stroked her back and caressed her head with affection, indicating his deep love and care, which were also evident in their home environment. Honestly, seeing Yin crying in her father's arms made Jungkook's heartache sting as if dozens of knives were stabbing his heart. Even though Yin didn't express it directly in front of her father, Jungkook could sense the meaning behind her tight embrace and tears, that Yin missed them and perhaps missed something she hadn't had for a long time. At that moment, Jungkook realized that her parents treated her very well, with tenderness, love, and care. Meanwhile, when Yin was with him, Jungkook hadn't even done the same to his wife throughout their marriage. Yes, Jungkook also realized that he hadn't been very close to his wife all this time. Their physical contact was only during their intimate moments. Otherwise, he had never touched his wife as her parents did with their daughter. Now they were both on their way home. Yin had been gazing out of the car window the entire time, while Jungkook seemed focused on driving. But in reality, Jungkook couldn't divert his attention from his wife. For some reason, Jungkook felt uneasy, restless, worried, and guilty, seeing his wife looking so gloomy and sad like this. Jungkook glanced at her hand, which was now resting on her thigh, realizing he had never touched her hand before. Then he looked at her face, her cheeks bearing traces of tears, and Jungkook realized he had never caressed or kissed her cheeks. Finally, Jungkook let out a soft sigh, one of his hands slowly reaching for her hand, gently clasping it, while his other hand remained focused on the steering wheel. Yin, feeling the sudden touch from her husband, felt puzzled and confused. What was going on with him? But eventually, she allowed her hand to be touched by him. Finally, for the first time since their marriage a month ago, they held hands. That night, unlike usual, they were just silent. This time, Jungkook had started taking the initiative to engage her in conversation. To start, Jungkook approached Yin and embraced his wife, who was lying down. Yin, can we talk for a moment? What do you want to talk about? It's not really anything important. I just want to get to know my wife better. So, you feel like you haven't known me all this time? Yes, that's right, because our relationship hasn't been normal lately, right? So, I want us to build our marriage into a healthier relationship than before. Hearing that, Yin furrowed her brow, feeling strange about why Jungkook suddenly said that. I'm curious, have you ever been far from your parents? Whether it's traveling abroad or maybe being separated for vacation? Never. I've always been by their side. No wonder. You seem very close to your parents. I envy you, Yin. Envy? Why? Because my relationship with my parents isn't as warm as yours. My parents and I are distant. We never express affection through physical touch. I even forget when was the last time my mom and dad kissed and hugged me. Maybe they did it to me before, but it's been so long, or maybe it happened only when I was little so I don't remember it at all now. Honestly, seeing the warmth in your family, I feel envious. I also rarely see my parents being affectionate with each other. Maybe they deliberately don't want to show it in front of me. Of course, they must be affectionate in their bedroom, but in our family, showing affection still feels like something taboo and a little stiff and awkward. This time, what Jungkook conveyed really caught Yin's attention. Is Jungkook's relationship with his parents really that stiff? If that's the case, it's no wonder Jungkook grew up to be a cold man who doesn't understand how to express love and affection. I think, all this time I've given you a lot of scars. I saw how warm your relationship with your parents is, and suddenly you married a man like me. Surely that's a misfortune in your life, isn't it? Yin remained silent, but she kept listening. Somehow, at this moment, Yin wanted to know what was in her husband's heart. If I were in your position right now, I would probably feel unlucky to have a husband like me. But seeing it from my perspective, I feel incredibly fortunate to have a wife as genuinely warm and caring as you. Jungkook's voice began to soften and tremble slightly. Yin grew curious and observed her husband, whose eyes were now turning red. His jaw began to tense. She knew he must be holding a lot of emotions inside. Yin, I apologize for not being the husband you could rely on all this time. It's not that I don't want to be affectionate towards you, but things like that still make me feel awkward. We never really knew each other before. Suddenly we got married because of an arranged marriage. You're the first woman to be close to me in my life other than my own mother. And I've never dated before, so I feel awkward being affectionate with you out of the blue. It seems like I have a lot to learn from you and your family so that I can become a better husband, especially from your father. Yin's lips curved into a smile hearing what her husband expressed, but somehow her heart also felt a little pity hearing his confession about his family's situation. So, the real issue all this time was a lack of communication between them. If only Yin knew Jungkook better and understood his character and the reasons why he acted coldly all this time, surely Yin would be the one to warm up their marriage. Yes, the reality was Yin had tried to warm things up, but Jungkook remained cold. Eventually, Yin gave up, and hope ceased at that moment. Finally, Yin exhaled deeply, realizing that her actions weren't wise either. If only they were willing to get to know each other, if only they were willing to be more open-hearted, surely their marriage could become warmer and more harmonious. So now you realize that all this time you've been cold towards me? I've been behaving like who I really am. This is how I am, Yin, but when I saw how warm your relationship with your parents is, I realized that you've been trying to warm up our family all this time. But I didn't realize it and didn't care at that time. That's why I apologize to you now, and I want to change myself to be kinder and warmer, like your parents who treat you. Sorry if I've been talking too much, but I beg you, Yin, let's return to how you used to be. I want us to both work on improving our marriage to be as healthy and harmonious as it should be. I want our children to feel the warmth from their parents. I don't want them to experience what I've been through. Yin took a deep breath quietly, then she finally sat on the bed, and Jungkook did the same. Suddenly, Yin hugged her husband tightly. She had longed to embrace him like this, but she didn't dare because she thought her husband was too cold. But this time, her husband responded to her embrace with equal tightness. They both enjoyed this moment of warmth. Alright, I will transform you into a warm man and a loving father for our future children. I'll make sure our children will be happy and feel lucky to have a father like you. I also apologize if I've misunderstood your condition all this time, Jungkook. Let's start everything anew, but better this time. They both hugged each other again, enjoying the warmth of their relationship. Yes, it seemed like love, care, and affection were starting to grow in their hearts.